And we say that as the international community, this conflict must end now, and we as the international community must act now also in unison. We must now work together to achieve a just and peaceful and lasting solution. I would like to welcome the demonstrable groundswell of support for the establishment of the much-awaited state of Palestine by 142 nations.
A hush fell over the United Nations General Assembly Hall. All eyes were on South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa. His words hung heavy in the air, a challenge to the world's conscience. Our country knows what it is like to be denied the right to self-determination, he said, drawing parallels between South Africa's history of racial segregation and the Palestinian struggle against Israeli occupation. He demanded that the world not look away, not turn a blind eye to the suffering of Palestinians under Israeli occupation. We cannot look away while Palestinians are killed in cold blood. His voice echoed with conviction, unwavering in its pursuit of justice. But then, in a dramatic turn of events, his microphone suddenly went dead. It wasn't a malfunction. It was a planned act of sabotage. And guess who was behind it? The apartheid state of Israel. They couldn't bear the truth and decided to silence the South African president in the middle of his speech. Let's unpack this unbelievable story together. On September 26, 2023, the United Nations General Assembly Hall was buzzing with activity. World leaders were gathered to discuss the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. The session was intense. Accusations were hurled, denials were made, and justifications fell on deaf ears. But when South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa stood up to speak, all eyes turned towards him. Ramaphosa, known for his calm demeanor and measured speeches, began by acknowledging the complexity of the issue. He spoke about the pain and trauma endured by both Israelis and Palestinians. However, he made it clear that enduring such pain and trauma does not justify causing pain and trauma to others. His words hit home. For many, it was a much-needed reminder that in the pursuit of justice, empathy should not be selective. It should encompass all victims, all those who have suffered the pangs of displacement, the agony of loss, and the despair of living under occupation. But as Ramaphosa continued, his tone grew more pointed. He directly addressed Israel, calling for them to end the occupation, dismantle the apartheid wall, and recognize the rights of Palestinians. As South Africans, we know what it means to be denied the right to self-determination, to be deprived of our freedom and dignity. We know what it means to live under the shadow of occupation and the oppression of an unjust system, he stated, drawing parallels between South Africa's history of racial segregation and the Palestinian struggle. He called for a two-state solution, urging Israel to recognize the state of Palestine alongside Israel. He emphasized the importance of dialogue, condemning the violence on both sides, but making it clear that Israel's occupation of Palestinian territory was the root cause of the conflict. The audience listened intently. Every word carried weight. Every sentence resonated with those who had been advocating for Palestinian rights for years. Ramaphosa was not just a leader speaking. He was a beacon of hope, a voice of reason in a cacophony of despair. But as he reached the climax of his speech, as he prepared to deliver his final message of hope for a peaceful resolution, the unthinkable happened. The microphone in front of him suddenly went dead. It wasn't a technical glitch, it was sabotage, pure and simple. Someone didn't want the world to hear his words, to heed his call for justice. But who would do such a thing and why? The answer, as they say, lies in the silence. The sudden silence that followed Ramaphosa's speech created an eerie atmosphere in the assembly hall. It was as if someone had pressed the mute button on the world's conscience. For a moment, no one spoke. The delegates looked towards the podium, then at each other, confusion and anger dawning on their faces. What had happened? Hadn't they come to this meeting to air their views, to engage in a discourse that could potentially change the course of this decades-long conflict? It felt like the rug had been pulled from under their feet, like they had been cheated out of a chance to be part of a historic conversation. Some delegates, overcome with emotion, began murmuring, their voices echoing the sentiment that many were too afraid to voice aloud. Questions filled the air. What was this technical problem? Who was responsible? And most importantly, why did it happen at this crucial moment? As the murmurs grew into uneasy whispers, the gravity of the situation became apparent. This wasn't just a technological malfunction. This was a deliberate attempt to silence South Africa's president. But by whom and why? As the world grappled with these questions, conspiracy theories began to surface. Had Israel, with its notorious history of silencing critics, orchestrated this move? Was this just another instance of their alleged tactics of intimidation and control? Or was there another culprit behind this audacious act? As speculations ran rampant, one thing became clear. This incident wasn't merely a footnote in history, it was a turning point, a moment that would be dissected, debated, and discussed for years to come. It forced everyone in that room and watching worldwide to choose a side, either with the oppressed or with the oppressor, with justice or with silence. And as they made that choice, the world held its breath, waiting to see what would come next. After the session, the incident became a talking point at gatherings worldwide. People discussed the various possibilities. Some believed it was a mere technical glitch, while others saw it as a deliberate attempt to silence Ramaphosa. But amidst the confusion and speculation, one thing was clear. South Africa's voice will not be silenced. The country's stance on Palestine remains strong and unwavering. The silence may have been deafening, but the message it carried was loud and clear. The world cannot turn a blind eye to the plight of Palestinians any longer. South Africa has shown that speaking out against injustice is not just important, it's necessary. It has set a powerful example for other nations, demonstrating that it's possible to stand up against oppressive forces and demand change. Israel's actions, or inactions, have consequences. By sabotaging South Africa's president's speech, Israel has only highlighted its own guilt and complicity in the ongoing violence. The world now sees more clearly than ever before how Israel's occupation of Palestinian territory is the root cause of the conflict. As South Africa has shown, peace can only be achieved when all parties respect each other's rights and acknowledge their shared humanity. Despite the challenges and setbacks, South Africa's commitment to justice is unwavering. The country continues to advocate for Palestinian rights, both on the global stage and within its own borders. It's a testament to the power of perseverance and the indomitable spirit of those who fight for justice in the face of overwhelming odds. South Africa has shown that one person's voice can make a difference. The silence may have been deafening, but the message it carried was loud and clear. The world cannot turn a blind eye to the plight of Palestinians any longer. South Africa has shown that speaking out against injustice is not just important, it's necessary. It has set a powerful example for other nations, demonstrating that it's possible to stand up against oppressive forces and demand change. Israel's actions or inactions have consequences. By sabotaging South Africa's president's speech, Israel has only highlighted its own guilt and complicity in the ongoing violence. The world now sees more clearly than ever before how Israel's occupation of Palestinian territory is the root cause of the conflict. As South Africa has shown, peace can only be achieved when all parties respect each other's rights and acknowledge their shared humanity. Despite the challenges and setbacks, South Africa's commitment to justice is unwavering. The country continues to advocate for Palestinian rights both on the global stage and within its own borders. It's a testament to the power of perseverance and the indomitable spirit of those who fight for justice in the face of overwhelming odds. This incident serves as a stark reminder that the pursuit of justice is often met with resistance, but it should never be deterred. In a world where silence is often mistaken for consent, South Africa has shown us that speaking out against injustice is not just a moral imperative, it's a necessity. As we reflect on this event, let us take inspiration from South Africa's courage and determination. Let us remember that the fight for justice may be arduous, but it is a fight worth having. It is a testament to the power of perseverance and the indomitable spirit of those who fight for justice in the face of overwhelming odds. South Africa has shown us that the pursuit of justice is not a destination, but a journey that requires constant vigilance, unwavering determination, and the courage to speak truth to power. The incident also highlights the importance of solidarity among nations. In a world where power often goes unchecked, South Africa's willingness to stand up for what it believes in, despite the personal and political costs, is truly commendable. It serves as a reminder that we are stronger when we stand together, and that solidarity among nations is essential in the pursuit of justice. As we look to the future, let us be inspired by South Africa's example. Let us continue to call out injustice wherever we see it, to demand accountability from those in power, and to stand in solidarity with those who are oppressed. Let us remember that true leadership is not defined by power or privilege, but by the courage to speak up for what is right. In conclusion, the incident of South Africa is President Cyril Ramaphosa's microphone going dead during his speech at the UN is a powerful reminder of the challenges and setbacks that those who fight for justice often face. However, it should not deter us from speaking out against injustice and oppression. Instead, it should inspire us to be more vocal and more active in our pursuit of a better world. As South Africa has shown us, the fight for justice is a journey that requires constant vigilance, unwavering determination, and the courage to speak truth to power. It is a fight worth having, and it is a world worth fighting for. Thank you for listening to this episode. If you found it insightful, please don't forget to leave us a like and subscribe for more updates on our channel. Your support helps us continue delivering quality content. Also, feel free to share your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. We value your engagement and would love to hear from you. Once again, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for our next episode. Until then, take care.